record yet. Okay, so now we're officially getting started, and I am recording this now. So for those that missed it, I just remind people about homecoming game. We'll be live streaming it, and those that want to buy tickets have to buy them in advance in the athletic office, either Thursday afternoon or during the day Friday, $5 each until they're sold out. And they have a limited number, I think 900 and something they can sell. But to our class here, computer literacy. First of all, if you got a question, you can put it in the chat. And if you haven't heard me already on the chat, if you don't mind, put a hello, how are you, whatever in the chat if you're here. And if you got a question, put it in the chat, and or you can unmute your mic and ask me along the way. Okay, I'm going to touch on a few general things right now relating to this class. So I'm going to switch over to using to sharing my screen. So I'm going to share a screen here. I'm getting a little better each week on this Zoom thing. And just back to what am I doing now, combining the classes, in case anyone didn't hear it. There are people that obviously my in-person classes aren't in person every day. So they're online only 3 days a week and in person 2 days a week. If you are in person, say on Monday and Tuesday, you probably don't really need to watch the Zoom because chances are whatever I say in the afternoon Zoom on Monday, I've already covered in the Monday and Tuesday in-person classes. If you're in person on Thursday and Friday, which means you're sitting in class right now while this is live, you probably don't need to watch a Zoom on Thursday and the Thursday Zoom because the things I'm going to cover I talked about in class today. But if you're not in either one, or if you're virtual, then you should probably watch both Zooms. And if you are in one or the other, you should watch a Zoom on the time of the week that you're not here. And I touch on some various important things that goes on, stuff like that. Also, before I forget, there's a blood drive today. There it is right there. There's a link. It's after school. It's at the American Legion, I believe, across street from the administration building. You sign up for a time slot. I'm going. I'll be there at 4:10 today, give blood. So if you or anyone's interested, that's a good cause. And all the blood they collect goes to local hospital, you know, so I think Battle Creek brought on. That's a good thing to do. Okay, for our classwork, okay. By this point, I've posted many a times and talked about some of the issues we dealt with last week regarding Microsoft Word. The main problems was a combination of some of the stuff I posted or made reference to was true in the Mac version, but not the Windows version. Okay, I learned about that, tried to make up for that in various ways. The other thing I found out about was people were using the web-only version of Word. If you go on the school computer, and I can't demonstrate here because I'm not on a school Windows computer, when you first turn it on, you see a little tile about the middle of your computer. It says Office. So it looks like, oh, I'll just click there. Well, it takes you to the web-only version of Office. Okay, I went on a student's laptop to check this out. And if you click Word, you're not going to get the whole Microsoft Word. You're going to get a very stripped-down version that's missing a whole lot of the things that you need for this class. So what do? I think everyone knows, but in case you don't, you go to the bottom left corner of Word, of the Windows, and there's a little square way down there, and you click on it, and it brings up all the programs on the computer. Now, some of you into Windows realize there are other ways to get to the programs, but that's one of them. Click the bottom left corner. They all come up alphabetically. I did this on a student's school computer. You scroll down the list all the way down to the W's. And when you get down to the W's, there's Word. That's the real Word. That's the full version that you need for this class. So you click on that, okay? While you're working, it's probably going to default to OneDrive. That's fine. You can save your stuff there to start out. Later, you're going to need to upload assignments to Google Classroom. So you'll probably need to download them at some point from OneDrive to probably your desktop or your documents folder in Windows, somewhere you're comfortable to drag it from there into Google Classroom. I don't know of a way to go directly from OneDrive to Google Classroom, but if you do, go for it and let me know how you did it, okay? Maybe there's a way to do that. So last week we had, also the drawing assignment last week probably should have been labeled a shapes assignment, because that's really what it was. But I did give the option, and some of you did it, where you can use a non-Microsoft Office program of your choosing to do some drawings. That was okay. That was a workaround for some people, and we did it. Last week we did the videography. Some people didn't do it. I put out there numerous options, and always, every day, 24/7, you can text me, email me if you got a problem or a question. Or on Wednesday, 2 students came here and did it here at school with my assistance. So one way or the other, I want to help you. It's actually a fairly easy assignment, and if you have problems, let me know. So that was left over from last week. Now this week, what's going on? We have 2 things going on. Microsoft Word, we're continuing that, and audio. I'm going to first talk about Word. This assignment, which many of you have done, some of you may have done already, is we kind of go back a little bit, but that's okay. A little review won't kill you. And I found this really nice 29-minute tutorial where it goes over a bunch of fundamental skills. I'm going to click on this PDF I made, and it goes over, look at this. Some of this is review, I know that. Toolbars, zoom, selection, styles, but it goes through hyperlinks, drop cap, things I haven't covered. Word art, inserting images it reviews, effects on those images, how to bring out the ruler if you forgot, how to arrange things on top of each other, grouping, and so on. Okay, these are all really important fundamental skills in Word. This tutorial I shared for this is Word for Windows. So it's not Mr. Rio doing it on a Mac, it's Word for Windows, which 99% of you are using outside of class. And this week, even the students who are in class are not doing the Word documents in class. We're doing GarageBand for the audio, a project that I'll talk about in a little bit. Okay, now if you look at this PDF while you're working on this, which you should, that's where I put the complete instructions. I put a screenshot of your final document. Yes, you're going to make a document. It's the document he makes while demonstrating the tools in Word. Okay, so if you have trouble seeing the text in the document or whatever, open up this PDF, zoom in. There's all your text that you need for this document. Okay, so you're going to be learning about drop caps. You're going to review bullets. He's going to go over word art. He's going to go over, inserting images. Then when you're all done, you name this Word document beginner. Now, sometime when you save these documents, it might make a .docx. Sometimes it may not. But Word documents, one way or the other, they're .docx, whether it says that or not. So that's why I often write it like that. And then you submit it for the assignment. So that'll probably take you 40 minutes or so. You'll have to stop a few times along the way in the tutorial probably to do that. Then the kind of related, but a little lighter and a little easier, I have you make a poster in Word, a poster for Binder Park Zoo. So you're going to basically make this, okay? Now your version may have some different colors and download some different pictures of Binder Park Zoo, and you're going to type in your own captions, but it's going to have pictures and captions and text boxes and word art and a page border and a background color. It may not look like it, but this page here has a light background color. It's got a different background color for here. It's got some text nicely organized for the tickets and hours. I think you have to have at least 4 images, not counting the logo, and find a logo. You have at least 1 word art up here for Binder Park Zoo. And of course, page border and that on here. So yours will look a little different, but it'll be very similar to this. And you might say, Mr. Rio, are there some skills on the poster that were not covered in that other Word tutorial? Yes, there are. They're adding a page border, text boxes, and changing the page color. You notice I put 3 little tiny 1 to 2 minute videos for each with this assignment. So these are 3 skills not covered in the other one. I found these nice little 1 and 2 minute videos showing you how to do these things. So you should be all set. Between the first tutorial and this one, you should have a good basic list of skills in Microsoft Word. This will be submitted when you make it, as I put in the thing poster, and just name it poster, and submit that. So that's our Word work for the week. Now to audio. We're going to be introduction to audio this week. And audio basically is where you can record spoken word, podcasts, which are usually spoken word, music of different types of music and different ways you can record music. So I do a couple of things here. First, everybody in all the classes does this podcast thing, even if you're not making a podcast this week. So you learn about a little bit what a podcast is and how to make one. You go to this site, there's an assignment goes with it. We don't do everything on the site. It's part of NPR, National Public Radio, and it's some general information from what was promoted as a student podcast challenge, which brings us to what is a podcast? Okay, back in the days of everything going from, say, traditional radio to internet and web-based, there still are, and always have been, a lot of audio programs on the radio. There's talk shows, there's how-tos where they give you advice on how to do things. There's discussions about music, discussions about any topic you can think of, news and information. So all that kind of format of audio is something that can be made into what we call a podcast. Now, the term podcast came from in 2005. People started making what sounded like a radio program, but they would release an audio file that you could subscribe to, so you can get it downloaded every time they released it, download it to your iPod, and save it in a list like you would with your songs or however you want to do it, and listen to, it could be a news and information, it could be humor, it could be somebody explaining something or have an opinion about something, it could be like a talk show. There's all different formats of podcast, and they became real popular and still are popular. Over the years, some of the podcasts have a video version where you can have a video of the podcast. Now, the ones that are truly what I call the real podcast type programs still have the look and feel of like a radio program. Okay, they're usually often people sitting at a desk with microphones talking as if they're on the radio. Some that I listen to, and CNET has several that cover things like, one of them might be on Mac computers, one of them might be on Windows computers, one might be on gaming. There's one called This Week in Tech I like that covers tech news. There's another one I like called Mac Break Weekly. One that I started watching on YouTube, so I didn't listen to it as like a downloadable, but a lot of them have gone on YouTube if they're video. It's Joe Rogan's podcast, and his is like a traditional talk show, and it's became real popular, like a TV show almost. And he just got a $30 million contract to move his podcast to Spotify. So one of the places you can listen to and find podcasts is Spotify, or on Apple, or many other places. So for this here assignment is for everybody to do that. Then for, that's not where you actually make a podcast. That's an assignment about planning and organizing a podcast. I covered the word ones. Then this one here on audio editing, this is real simple. You watch 3 videos, one's only a minute, one's 3 minutes, and one's 17 minutes. The first 2 are about kind of an intro to audio and some of the free audio editing programs out there. You can record music into, you can record spoken word into, or both. The third one's about microphones, because if you start moving beyond the basics on your own for either music or making a good quality podcast, you're going to want to get a decent microphone. So this video goes into a few that are affordable. Now, affordable to you as a high school student and to an adult are 2 different things. He's talking about mics that are under $100, which in the mic world is fairly cheap. So if you want a nice quality microphone, typically, good ones are going to be, $80 or $100 or so, or more, obviously. So that's a little assignment for that. Then for the big project here, as I call it, if you're in class, we're doing GarageBand. Unfortunately, I can't have everyone do GarageBand because it only comes for Mac and for Apple. There is a version of it for iPhone. There is a version of it for iPad. They're different than the one on the computer a bit. The one on the computer got the most features and the most capabilities. So in class, we're going to do this together for those that are in class. And we're going to use something called loops, which are pre-made recorded pieces of music. I show them in class how to do it. They're going to mix these loops together, make a little instrumental song, or if you want to call it a song, a music track. and then they're going to submit it. We'll do that by the end of the block on the second day for the C group. The H group already did it if they were here on Monday and Tuesday. The H group and the C group do not have to submit a separate document over what they used and how they did it, because I know that we did it in class. Everyone else is going to have to figure what software they want to use. They're going to have to make a little document answering some questions I put in the assignment about what they did and how they used it. And then they can either make a podcast or record music. So if it's a podcast, they should plan it out a bit. Maybe they're the only one on it. Maybe they get a guest on there they can interview or talk to. It doesn't have to be real long. A minute or two would be great. Put something at the beginning and the end to make it feel like the start and the end of a podcast. There could be a little bit of music you play, maybe some sound effects you do. Make it sound professional. It doesn't sound like people goofing around. Now, when I say professional, I don't expect professional. I mean, you're trying to do a good faith effort. So let's say you're doing a podcast about the NBA and the playoffs. Okay, you should know a little bit what's going on, right? You know, so look up some information. It could be you by yourself. It could be you and a friend or a guest, and just record. Of course, we're getting some announcements in the middle of this.
There is a blood drive today after school.
Okay.
There are lots of slots open between 3:30 to 4:30 and from 6:45 to 7:45. It's at the American Legion, right across from the administration.
See, you're in
building.
school. You get
if
to
you're
listen.
17 years old or older, you can donate without any parent permission slip.
Okay. I'm going to wrap this up here, but podcasts would be fairly easy to do. There's a lot of information in Google Classroom. Now, you can use anything you're recording. Use your phone. You can use an iPad. You can use a computer. There's free software out there. You might have to download something. You might already have software you don't even realize on your device to use it. If you have an iPhone, you can use the GarageBand for free, the version for your phone. There's many others out there. You can look up YouTube videos that give tips on free and easy to do podcasting and software and all that. If you're into music, you sing, you play an instrument, you want to mix loops if you have software that does that. If you have a Mac and got GarageBand home, you can do that too. Again, be about a minute or two. Export it, MP3 or some other easy to share file format, upload it, and then a little doc, explaining your project and your software and what skills you learned, and that's it. It's really easy. So do your best, get it in time. If you're running a day late, probably not a big deal. I'm not going to grade these till at least Sunday. I don't even think this one might not be due to then. And either way, have a great weekend. So take care. I'll be back Monday for the Monday Computer Lit podcast at 2:30. And unless you got any questions, I think that's about it. I'll click the chat, see if there's any questions I missed here. I'm going to stop sharing my video here. And let's see, you got a lot of hellos. That's great. Okay, could I just record me talking about the topic for a minute, then send it? Yes, but I want something at the opening. And if you don't have a way to bring in something, maybe play a little piece of music on another device or something, or, have a little intro. And then at the end, try to wrap it up with some. While you're talking, do it like you're doing a radio program. So, do a little bit of research, jot down a few notes. Do it after you do the podcast assignment, or the one where you have to learn about how they plan for a podcast. And, try to do a nice job. But yeah, basically it would be you talking, and you can record on anything you can record on. And you have to export it in something I could open, like an MP3 or AAC file. So yeah, if you got more questions, you can email me or text me. Any other questions? Okay, everyone have a great day. We just wrapped up here at school. It's 2:53 now. And this will be recorded or saved for those that couldn't be here at this time. Okay, so take care.